Elliot Eli Weaver had never been one for conventional mornings. While most people begrudged the sound of their alarm clock piercing the quiet dawn, Eli reveled in it. Today was no different, except for the extra buzz of excitement that coursed through him. Today was Mission Day. The Nexus hummed with activity, its sprawling underground chambers a testament to human ingenuity and the secrets they guarded. As Eli navigated the labyrinthine corridors, he couldn't help but marvel at the facility's blend of cutting-edge technology and functional design. Despite its serious purpose, there was an undercurrent of camaraderie that made every day here uniquely challenging and, surprisingly, fun. Eli's assistant, Jenna Sparks, was already up and about, tinkering with a peculiar gadget that looked suspiciously like a cross between a spider and a Swiss Army knife. Her workstation was cluttered with an array of quirky devices, each more eccentric than the last. Jenna's energy was infectious, and her endless puns about spiders and webs were a staple of their morning routine. "Hey, Eli. Ready to spin another web of success today?" Jenna quipped, holding up her latest invention. Eli chuckled, adjusting his sleek, form-fitting suit that allowed him to move with unparalleled agility in subterranean environments. "Always. Just make sure that thing doesn't end up as a tangled mess. We don't need another sticky situation this time." Jenna grinned, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "No promises. But speaking of sticky, did you hear about the spider who became a web designer? He really knew how to create a strong network." Eli shook his head, unable to suppress a laugh. Their banter was a comforting constant in the often tense atmosphere of the Nexus. It was moments like these that made the high-stakes missions bearable. The mission briefing room was a cavernous space, filled with holographic displays and a long, polished table where the team gathered. Today's assignment was critical: retrieve a mysterious artifact from a newly discovered underground labyrinth that bore an uncanny resemblance to a colossal spider's nest. The artifact was believed to hold immense power, and its location deep within the maze suggested it was guarded by more than just physical obstacles. Eli took his seat, feeling the weight of responsibility settle over him. He glanced at Jenna, who was already engrossed in calibrating her gadget. Their team leader, Captain Marcus Holt, stood at the front, his stern expression a stark contrast to the lightheartedness that usually filled the room. "All right, team," Holt began, his voice commanding attention. "Our objective is to secure the artifact known as the Web Heart. Intelligence suggests it has the capability to manipulate subterranean ecosystems on a scale we've never seen before. This could be a game-changer for both our allies and our enemies." Eli felt a chill run down his spine. The Web Heart wasn't just any artifact, it was linked to his missing sister, Celine. Her disappearance had been a lingering mystery, and whispers of her involvement in underground research had surfaced periodically over the years. The thought that this mission might bring him closer to finding her weighed heavily on him. "As always, time is of the essence," Holt continued. "We're sending in a two-person team, Eli and Jenna. Your unique abilities make you the best candidates for navigating the complexities of the labyrinth. Be prepared for anything." Eli met Jenna's eyes, and for a moment, their usual banter was replaced by a shared understanding. They nodded, knowing the gravity of what lay ahead. "Good luck, and stay safe," Holt concluded, dismissing the team. The preparation phase was a whirlwind of activity. Eli and Jenna suited up, double-checking their gear. Eli's suit was equipped with advanced sensors and built-in mechanisms to aid in navigation and construction within the subterranean maze. Jenna's gadgets, though whimsical in appearance, were essential tools designed to assist in various scenarios they might encounter. As they made their way to the extraction point, the atmosphere shifted. The initial excitement was tempered by the knowledge that they were venturing into the unknown, where dangers lurked in every shadow and every corner held the potential for unforeseen challenges. The descent into the labyrinth was smooth, the transition from the Nexus's controlled environment to the raw, untamed underground being almost seamless. The entrance to the maze was a gaping maw in the earth, framed by intricate web-like structures that seemed to pulse with an eerie luminescence. Bioluminescent flora illuminated the path ahead, casting an otherworldly glow on the walls. "Beautiful," isn't it?" Jenna remarked, her usual humor softened by genuine awe. "It's like Mother Nature decided to throw a rave and forgot to invite us." Eli smiled, but his eyes remained vigilant. The maze was unlike anything he had ever seen, an intricate network of tunnels and chambers, each more complex than the last. As they ventured deeper, the air grew thick with humidity, and the sounds of dripping water echoed through the passages. Their initial exploration was filled with minor challenges that tested their skills and teamwork. Oversized web strands acted like trampolines, requiring precise timing and coordination to navigate. Sticky patches of ground necessitated creative problem-solving to avoid getting bogged down. Each obstacle was met with a blend of Eli's agility and Jenna's inventive gadgets, making their progress both efficient and entertaining. But as they delved further, the maze revealed a more sinister side. The entrance they had come through began to collapse, triggered by a hidden mechanism. Panic set in as the walls seemed to shift and constrict, cutting off their escape route. "Jenna, we're trapped," Eli stated, his voice calm but filled with urgency. "Looks like this mission just got a whole lot more complicated." Jenna's usual optimism faltered for a moment. "Great, just what we needed." A surprise encore performance of "Escape from the Spider Web." Eli quickly assessed their situation. The labyrinth was designed not just to protect the artifact but to ensnare those who sought it. This was no ordinary maze, it was a living, breathing entity, reacting to their presence and intent on keeping them within its depths. Drawing upon his unique ability to manipulate subterranean spaces, Eli began to weave intricate paths using his spider silk. The silk was more than just a tool, it was an extension of himself, allowing him to construct bridges, barriers, and pathways with ease. Together, Eli and Jenna worked to navigate the treacherous terrain, their movements synchronized and precise. As they progressed, they stumbled upon cryptic symbols etched into the walls. The markings were a blend of ancient scripts and modern encryption, suggesting a complex history intertwined with advanced technology. Eli's mind raced as he began to decipher the messages, uncovering hints of a larger, more insidious plan. "Look at this," Eli pointed to a series of symbols that seemed to form a map. "It's like someone wanted to leave us clues about the true purpose of this place." Jenna leaned in, her eyes scanning the patterns. "Maybe it's not just about the artifact. Maybe there's something bigger going on here." Their investigation led them to a hidden chamber, where the true extent of the conspiracy began to unfold. The chamber was a technological marvel, housing a device that pulsed with energy. Monitors displayed data streams and schematics, revealing plans to manipulate the underground ecosystems on a global scale. The implications were staggering. Control over such power could mean dominance over natural resources, environments, and even entire populations. Eli's heart sank as he realized the gravity of the situation. This wasn't just about retrieving an artifact, it was about stopping a potentially catastrophic plan that could alter the very fabric of the Earth's subterranean landscapes. Before they could delve deeper into the implications, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. Dr. Celine Weaver, Eli's presumed dead sister, stood before them, her presence both familiar and unsettling. Her eyes gleamed with determination, and her demeanor exuded authority. "Eli," she greeted, her voice a mixture of warmth and menace. "I see you've found my little project." Eli's mind raced, torn between relief and anger. "Celine? How? You were supposed to be missing." Celine chuckled, a sound that sent chills down Eli's spine. "Missing? That's a rather optimistic take on it. Let's just say I found a new purpose." Jenna stepped forward, her hand instinctively reaching for her gadget. "We need to stop whatever you're planning, Celine. This device, it's dangerous." Celine's expression hardened. "Dangerous? On the contrary, Jenna. This device will allow us to control and protect the underground ecosystems, ensuring their survival against the ever-increasing threats from above. It's a necessary evolution." Eli felt a pang of conflict. His sister had always been driven, but this was beyond anything he could have imagined. Protecting? By manipulating entire ecosystems without regard for the consequences? This isn't protection, Celine. It's control. The tension in the chamber was palpable, the air thick with unresolved emotions and conflicting motivations. Jenna, sensing the escalating danger, prepared to defend them, but Eli held up a hand to stop her. There has to be another way, Eli implored. We can find a solution that doesn't involve this level of manipulation. Celine's eyes flickered with something akin to sorrow. You always were the idealist, Eli. But idealism doesn't survive in the real world. We're facing extinction, and drastic measures are required. Before Eli could respond, the chamber began to tremble. The labyrinth itself seemed to react to the confrontation, the walls shifting and the device's energy intensifying. The very foundation of their mission was crumbling around them. Eli knew they didn't have much time. Jenna, we need to disable the device. Now. Jenna nodded, her determination matching Eli's. On it. As Jenna worked to access the device's controls, Eli faced his sister, the person he had longed to find now standing as both a beacon of hope and a harbinger of destruction. The emotional weight of their reunion threatened to overwhelm him, but the stakes demanded his focus. Celine, think about what you're doing, Eli pleaded. This isn't the way to save anything. Celine took a step closer, her gaze unwavering. And what would you know, Eli? You're too caught up in your own morals to see the bigger picture. This is our chance to make a real difference. Before Eli could counter her, the device emitted a powerful surge of energy. The chamber shook violently, and the holographic displays flickered erratically. Jenna's fingers flew over her gadget, attempting to override the system, but the device's defenses were formidable. Eli, I can't hold it off much longer. Jenna shouted over the din, we need a different approach. Eli's mind raced, searching for a solution. His abilities had always been his greatest asset, but the complexity of this situation was unlike anything he had faced before. He glanced around, spotting the intricate web structures that formed the very essence of the maze. Celine, stop. This isn't the way. Eli called out, desperation edging his voice. For a moment, Celine hesitated, her resolve wavering. But the mission had taken on a life of its own, and she couldn't afford to back down. I'm sorry, Eli. This is bigger than us. With a final surge, the device unleashed a torrent of energy, sending shockwaves through the chamber. The walls began to close in, and debris fell from above. Jenna managed to disable the device just in the nick of time, the energy dissipating in a burst of light. Silence settled over the room, broken only by the sound of their heavy breathing. Celine stood, bruised but unbroken. It's done. The device is offline. Eli took a step forward, the conflict within him unresolved. Why, Celine? Why go to such lengths? Celine looked at him with a mixture of pride and sorrow. Because someone has to take responsibility for the future, Eli. And I believe that's us. Before Eli could respond, the chamber began to stabilize, the labyrinth's tremor subsiding. The immediate threat was over, but the underlying issues remained unresolved. As they made their way out of the chamber, the maze seemed to acknowledge their victory, the web structures parting to reveal a clear path. They emerged into a vast cavern, the surface of the underground maze now visible above them. The bioluminescent flora glowed softly, casting a serene light on their exhausted forms. Celine turned to Eli, her expression softening. Perhaps there is a way we can work together, without compromising our principles. Eli nodded slowly, the tension between them easing. Maybe there is. But we have to ensure that this power is never misused again. Jenna, still catching her breath, managed a tired smile. Well, that was certainly a twist in the tale. Who knew our mission would turn into a family reunion? Eli couldn't help but laugh, the sound breaking the lingering tension. Only us, Jenna. Only us. As they made their way back to the Nexus, the significance of their mission weighed heavily on them. The labyrinth had tested their skills, their trust, and their bonds in ways they hadn't anticipated. But amidst the challenges, they had uncovered a conspiracy that threatened not just their world but the very essence of underground life. Back at the Nexus, the team received a hero's welcome. Reports of their success spread quickly, and accolades were showered upon them for thwarting the dangerous plan. But for Eli, the real victory was the opportunity to reconnect with his sister and the hope of finding a way to prevent such threats in the future. In the days that followed, Eli and Jenna worked closely with Celine, combining their expertise to ensure the labyrinth remained secure and that the device's remnants posed no further danger. The collaboration was a testament to their resilience and the strength of their relationships, forged in the depths of the spider-web abyss. As Eli stood alone in his office, reflecting on the events that had unfolded, he felt a profound sense of closure and purpose. The journey through the abyss had taught him valuable lessons about trust, family, and the responsibilities that came with his unique abilities. The underground networks, once a source of mystery and isolation, now symbolized the interconnectedness of their world and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. But even as peace settled over the Nexus, Eli couldn't shake the feeling that their adventure was far from over. Subtle clues hinted at lingering threats and unexplored depths, suggesting that the spider-web abyss held more secrets yet to be unveiled. And as the shadows of the underground whispered with untold stories, Eli knew that his role as a protector was just beginning. With a determined resolve, Eli prepared for whatever challenges awaited, ready to navigate the complexities of the subterranean world he called home. And as he glanced over at Jenna, who was already immersed in her next invention, he couldn't help but feel optimistic about the future, knowing that together, they could overcome any obstacle that came their way. Eli Weaver stood in his office at the Nexus, the soft hum of machinery a constant backdrop to his thoughts. The recent mission had left him with a mix of relief and lingering tension. The reunion with his sister, Celine, had been both heartwarming and unsettling, raising more questions than answers. He glanced over at Jenna, who was already engrossed in tweaking one of her quirky gadgets, her fingers deftly adjusting components with practiced ease. "Another day in paradise, huh?" Eli remarked, breaking the silence. Jenna looked up, a tired smile playing on her lips. "You could say that. Although, I wouldn't mind fewer surprise family reunions. But hey, at least we got the artifact secured and the immediate threat neutralized." Eli nodded, his mind still processing the events that had unfolded. Celine's presence had shifted the dynamics within the Nexus, introducing a complex layer of familial ties and unresolved emotions. He couldn't help but wonder what other secrets she held and how deep the conspiracy ran. "Do you think Celine will stay involved?" Eli asked, turning his attention back to Jenna. She shrugged, her eyes meeting his with a hint of uncertainty. "If she's truly on board with us now, I don't see why not. But given everything, I wouldn't be surprised if there are more layers to her involvement." Before Eli could respond, Captain Marcus Holt entered the room, his expression more relaxed than usual. "Eli, Jenna, good to see you both back safe. We've received reports that there are still remnants of the Arachnid's operations scattered in the underground sectors. It seems Celine's influence runs deeper than we initially thought." Eli felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "What kind of remnants are we talking about?" Holt took a seat across from them, pulling up a holographic display that showcased various locations within the subterranean network. "There are multiple points where the Arachnids have established outposts. They're likely trying to regroup and rebuild. We need to ensure that their operations are completely dismantled to prevent any resurgence." Jenna leaned in, studying the display intently. "If Celine's involved, do we know her exact role in these outposts?" Holt shook his head. "Not entirely. Our intel suggests she's the mastermind, but we need more concrete evidence. That's why we need you too. Your unique skills and first-hand experience with the Labyrinth make you the perfect candidates to lead the counter-operations." Eli exchanged a glance with Jenna, the weight of responsibility evident in his eyes. "We're in. But we'll need full support and access to all available resources." These outposts could be more fortified than we anticipate. Holt nodded. Understood. You'll have everything you need. Just proceed with caution. The Arachnids won't take kindly to interference. With the new mission outlined, Eli and Jenna began their preparations once more. This time, the stakes felt even higher. The Nexus had already faced a significant threat, and now they were tasked with eradicating the remnants of an organization that had the potential to manipulate underground ecosystems on a global scale. The following morning, Eli and Jenna suited up, their gear reflecting the seriousness of their new assignment. Eli's suit had been upgraded with additional sensors and reinforced spider silk capabilities, allowing for more intricate constructions and enhanced protection. Jenna's gadgets were also refined, incorporating advanced encryption-decryption tools and versatile multifunctional devices designed for a variety of scenarios. As they made their way to the extraction point, the atmosphere in the Nexus was tense but determined. The team understood the gravity of the situation, knowing that failure could mean the resurgence of a threat that could endanger countless lives and destabilize underground ecosystems worldwide. The descent into the underground network was more challenging this time. The passages were narrower, and the air heavier, a stark contrast to their previous journey. The bioluminescent flora provided a dim, ethereal light, casting long shadows that danced eerily on the walls. Every step they took was deliberate, their senses heightened in anticipation of potential dangers lurking in the darkness. Their first outpost was located in a vast cavern known as the Silken Hall. The name was fitting, as the walls were adorned with intricate web-like structures that shimmered with a faint luminescence. The architecture was both beautiful and menacing, a testament to the Arachnids' ability to blend natural and technological elements seamlessly. Eli and Jenna moved cautiously, their movements synchronized and silent. The air was thick with tension, each corner holding the possibility of an encounter with hostile forces. As they navigated the cavern, Eli's spider silk abilities came into play once more. He meticulously constructed pathways and barriers, ensuring they could traverse the area without triggering any hidden traps or alarms. Suddenly, Jenna stopped, holding up a hand to signal Eli to do the same. Ahead, a group of Arachnid operatives were patrolling the perimeter. They were clad in sleek, dark uniforms that allowed them to blend into the shadows, their movements precise and calculated. "Looks like we have company," Jenna whispered, her voice barely audible. Eli nodded, assessing their options. Engaging directly would be risky, but stealth was their best chance of avoiding unnecessary conflict. He began to weave a series of silk threads, creating a temporary bridge that would allow them to bypass the patrol without detection. As they moved silently across the bridge, Eli couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The labyrinth seemed to respond to their presence, the walls subtly shifting and adapting to their movements. It was as if the very environment was aware of their mission, actively working to impede their progress. Reaching the other side of the Silken Hall, they encountered a control panel embedded into the wall. Jenna approached it, her fingers dancing over the interface as she worked to decrypt the security systems. "This should give us access to the outpost's mainframe," she murmured, her eyes focused on the data streams. After several tense moments, the system yielded to their efforts. "Got it," Jenna announced softly. "We can shut down their operations from here." Before Eli could respond, a loud clatter echoed through the cavern. Both of them froze, their eyes darting toward the source of the noise. Emerging from the shadows was a formidable figure clad in advanced tactical gear, an Arachnid commander, known for his strategic prowess and ruthless efficiency. Well, what do we have here?" the commander sneered, his eyes narrowing as he took in their presence. "Intruders in our domain." Eli instinctively moved to intercept, his spider silk ready to create a defensive barrier. "We're not here to fight," he declared, his voice steady despite the tension. "We're here to dismantle your operations." The commander chuckled, a cold, mirthless sound. "You really think you can just waltz in and take us down? This labyrinth is our home, our sanctuary. You have no idea what you're up against." Jenna stepped forward, her confidence unshaken. "We've seen what your organization is capable of. The manipulation of underground ecosystems, the potential for global disruption. We're here to stop that. The commander's expression darkened. You underestimate the lengths we're willing to go to protect our mission. This labyrinth is just the beginning. There's more at play here than you can comprehend. Before Eli could respond, the commander activated a device on his wrist, sending out a pulse that disrupted their communication systems. The holographic displays flickered and died, plunging the cavern into a tense silence. You're meddling in affairs beyond your understanding, the commander warned, taking a step closer. Leave now, and you might still walk away with your lives. Eli felt the weight of the situation pressing down on him. This confrontation was more than just a battle of wills, it was a clash of ideologies. He glanced at Jenna, who gave him a subtle nod, signaling her readiness to proceed. We won't leave until we've neutralized the threat you pose, Eli responded firmly. This ends now. The commander sighed, a mixture of frustration and resolve in his eyes. So be it. In an instant, the cavern erupted into chaos. The Arachnid operatives sprang into action, their movements swift and coordinated. Eli and Jenna found themselves in the midst of a fierce skirmish, their training and instincts taking over as they fought to gain the upper hand. Eli's spider silk flowed seamlessly, creating barriers to deflect incoming attacks and launching himself into strategic positions. His agility was unmatched, allowing him to maneuver through the chaos with ease. Jenna, on the other hand, unleashed her arsenal of gadgets, each one designed for a specific purpose, disabling opponents, creating diversions, and hacking into systems to gain tactical advantages. The battle was intense, each side pushing the other to their limits. Eli and Jenna worked in perfect harmony, their movements synchronized as they countered every move the Arachnids made. Despite the odds, their determination never wavered. As the fight raged on, Eli caught a glimpse of Selene moving through the shadows, her presence both reassuring and disconcerting. She was orchestrating the battle with calculated precision, her strategic mind evident in every move she made. Eli, she called out, her voice cutting through the chaos. Stop. This isn't the way. For a moment, the fighting paused as the siblings locked eyes, the tension between them palpable. Eli felt a surge of conflicting emotions: relief at seeing his sister, anger at the method she had chosen, and sorrow for the path she had taken. Selene, why are you doing this? Eli demanded, his voice tinged with both frustration and concern. This isn't the solution. Selene stepped forward, her expression resolute. Eli, you have to understand. The surface world is collapsing. Environmental disasters, resource shortages, it's only a matter of time before everything falls apart. We need to take control now, before it's too late. Eli shook his head, his heart heavy with the weight of their disagreement. There has to be another way. Manipulating ecosystems, threatening entire communities, it's not right. Jenna, recognizing the need to de-escalate the situation, stepped between them. Eli, Selene, we need to end this. Continuing the fight will only lead to more destruction. Selene's eyes softened for a brief moment, but her resolve remained firm. It's already too late for that. We don't have the luxury of time. Before Eli could respond, the commander intervened, raising his hands to halt the confrontation. Enough. This impasse is futile. If you won't stand down, then we'll have to force you out. The tension in the cavern reached its peak as both sides braced for the next move. Eli knew that the standoff could escalate into a full-blown conflict, something he desperately wanted to avoid. Selene, listen to me, Eli implored, taking a step closer. We can find a way to help without resorting to this. Let us work together. Selene hesitated, her gaze flickering between Eli and the chaos around them. For a fleeting moment, it seemed like she might reconsider, but the mission had become too deeply ingrained in her psyche. Eli, you don't understand the magnitude of the situation, she replied, her voice wavering slightly. I'm doing this for us, for the future. Eli felt a pang of desperation. Please, Celine. Don't do this. There are other ways to make a difference. As if on cue, the chamber began to tremble, the very foundations of the labyrinth reacting to the ongoing conflict. The walls started to shift and close in, the intricate web structures tightening around them like a living entity. We need to get out of here, Jenna shouted over the rising din, her voice barely audible above the chaos. Eli nodded, his focus shifting to the collapsing environment. Celine, help us shut down the device. It's the only way to stabilize the maze. Celine glanced at the device in the central chamber, its pulsating energy now erratic and unstable. I can't. It's too dangerous. But Eli was insistent. Please, Celine. We can do this together. Seeing the determination in her brother's eyes, Celine took a deep breath, her resolve wavering. All right. But you have to trust me. Together, Eli, Jenna, and Celine moved towards the central chamber, navigating through the collapsing passages with a combination of speed and agility. The Arachnid operatives, sensing the shift in priorities, began to retreat, leaving the siblings to focus on the critical task at hand. As they reached the chamber, the device's instability had reached its peak. The energy within it surged uncontrollably, threatening to unleash a catastrophic release that could disrupt the entire underground ecosystem. Jenna, you need to disable the power core, Eli instructed, his eyes never leaving the device. Celine, assist her. We need to synchronize our efforts. Jenna nodded, immediately diving into the technical aspects of the device. I'm on it. Eli, cover her. Eli and Celine positioned themselves around the chamber, their combined abilities channeling the spider silk in precise patterns to stabilize the environment long enough for Jenna to work her magic. Minutes felt like hours as Jenna worked tirelessly, her fingers flying over the controls, decrypting the complex systems that powered the device. Eli and Celine maintained their defensive positions, their movements a blend of grace and urgency. Finally, with a series of calculated maneuvers, Jenna managed to override the device's safeguards. Got it. I'm disabling the core now. A surge of energy pulsed through the chamber, but thanks to their combined efforts, the device began to stabilize. The walls ceased their collapse, and the labyrinth's tremors subsided, the immediate threat abating. Silence filled the chamber, broken only by the heavy breaths of the three of them. Eli looked at his sister, a mix of relief and sorrow in his eyes. It's over. Celine nodded, her expression weary but determined. For now. Jenna stepped back, wiping sweat from her brow. We did it. The device is offline. Eli felt a profound sense of accomplishment, tempered by the complex emotions surrounding his sister. Thank you, both of you. I couldn't have done this without you. Celine approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. I'm sorry, Eli. I didn't want it to come to this. Eli shook his head, his voice gentle. I know. Let's focus on making things right from here. As they made their way out of the chamber, the atmosphere had shifted. The labyrinth, now stabilized, seemed to accept their presence without resistance. They emerged into a serene cavern, the bioluminescent flora casting a calming glow around them. Back at the Nexus, the aftermath of their mission was met with a mixture of relief and apprehension. The immediate threat had been neutralized, but the implications of Celine's actions and the lingering presence of the Arachnids posed ongoing challenges. Captain Holt greeted them with a firm handshake. Excellent work, both of you. You've not only secured the artifact but also dismantled a significant portion of the Arachnids' operations. Eli glanced at Celine, who stood beside him, her presence now a part of the team. What happens now? He asked, the uncertainty evident in his voice. Holt's expression grew serious. We need to conduct a full investigation to ensure there are no remaining threats. Celine, your expertise will be invaluable in this process. Celine nodded, her determination unwavering. I'm committed to making things right. I'll do whatever it takes to help. Jenna, ever the optimist, chimed in with a smile. Looks like we're not done yet. The Nexus has a feeling there's more to uncover. Eli couldn't help but smile back, the bond between them strengthened by the trials they had faced. Then let's get to work. Over the following weeks, Eli, Jenna, and Celine worked tirelessly to secure the Arachnid's remnants and ensure the stability of the underground ecosystems. Their collaboration was seamless, each bringing their unique skills to the table, fostering a sense of unity and purpose within the Nexus. Celine proved to be a valuable asset, her knowledge of the Labyrinth's intricacies and her strategic mind pivotal in dismantling the remaining operations. Her presence also provided Eli with a sense of closure, the chance to reconnect with his sister and mend the fractures of their past. One evening, as the team gathered in the common area of the Nexus, Eli found himself deep in conversation with Celine. The air was filled with a sense of camaraderie, the weight of their recent mission lifting, replaced by the promise of a brighter future. "Do you ever think about what comes next?" Eli asked, his gaze fixed on the holographic map displayed on the wall. Celine sighed, her eyes reflecting a mix of hope and uncertainty. "All the time. We've achieved so much, but there's still so much to do. The underground networks are vast, and while we've made progress, there's always the potential for new threats or new discoveries." Jenna, overhearing the conversation, interjected with a grin. "Well, if there's one thing we know, it's that no matter what comes our way, we can handle it together." Eli nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude for his team. "She's right. We've proven that our combined efforts can overcome any obstacle. As long as we stay united, there's nothing we can't tackle." Their conversation was interrupted by an alert from the central system. A new signal had been detected deep within the Labyrinth, one that suggested the presence of an unknown entity. The message was cryptic, a series of symbols that defied immediate interpretation. Eli's curiosity was piqued. "What's that?" Holt approached, his expression serious as he analyzed the data. "It appears to be a distress signal. It's emanating from a section of the Labyrinth we haven't explored yet." Celine's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "A distress signal? That could mean anyone or anything is in trouble down there. It might not be the Arachnids." Jenna tapped her gadget, attempting to decode the message. "I'm trying to decrypt the symbols, but it's unlike anything I've seen before. It could be a different organization or even a rogue element." Eli felt a renewed sense of purpose. "We need to investigate. If someone's sending out a distress call, they might need our help." Holt nodded in agreement. "Agreed. But proceed with caution. We don't know what's out there, and it could be a trap." As the team prepared for the new mission, the anticipation was palpable. The Labyrinth had already proven to be a formidable challenge, but the possibility of aiding someone in need added a new layer of motivation. The descent into the unknown section of the Labyrinth was met with the same meticulous care as their previous missions. Eli and Jenna led the way, their movements fluid and precise, while Celine provided strategic insights to navigate the intricate pathways. The environment grew more complex as they ventured deeper, the web-like structures becoming denser and more elaborate. The bioluminescent flora provided just enough light to guide their way, casting an ethereal glow that highlighted the Labyrinth's beauty and danger. After hours of navigating the maze, they arrived at a secluded chamber, the source of the distress signal. The room was different from the rest of the Labyrinth, featuring advanced technology intertwined with natural elements. In the center stood a figure, her back to them as she frantically worked on a device that pulsed with energy. "Hey there," Eli called out cautiously, approaching the figure. "We're here to help." The woman spun around, surprise and relief washing over her features. She was clad in a uniform that combined elements of the Nexus and an unfamiliar emblem, a symbol resembling a spider intertwined with a tree, representing a harmonious balance between technology and nature. "Thank goodness," she exclaimed, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "I thought I was the only one left." Jenna stepped forward, extending a hand. "I'm Jenna, and this is Eli and Celine. What happened here?" The woman took Jenna's hand, her grip firm yet weary. I'm Dr. Maya Lin, a researcher from the Surface Ecology Initiative. Our team was conducting experiments on sustainable underground ecosystems when something went wrong. The device was supposed to enhance environmental stability, but instead, it triggered a cascade of uncontrolled reactions. Eli's eyes widened. Uncontrolled reactions? What exactly happened? Maya sighed, her shoulders slumping with fatigue. The device was meant to create a self-sustaining environment, but instead, it caused the subterranean flora and fauna to behave unpredictably. The labyrinth's natural defenses went haywire, making it nearly impossible to navigate or control the situation. We sent out a distress signal in hopes that someone could help us stabilize the environment. Celine stepped forward, her analytical mind already assessing the situation. We can help. But we'll need access to your device and more information about its intended functions. Maya nodded, gesturing towards the device at the center of the chamber. It's a prototype designed to regulate and enhance underground ecosystems by mimicking natural processes. Unfortunately, the feedback loop created an imbalance, causing the entire system to become volatile. Jenna examined the device, her fingers deftly working to interface with the controls. I can attempt to recalibrate it, but we'll need to work quickly before the reactions escalate further. As Jenna and Maya collaborated on stabilizing the device, Eli and Celine kept watch, their senses alert for any signs of danger. The atmosphere in the chamber was tense, the potential for another crisis looming ominously. Minutes felt like hours as they worked to bring the situation under control. Finally, Jenna managed to override the malfunctioning systems, her gadget emitting a series of beeps as the device began to stabilize. There, that should do it, Jenna announced, a sense of relief evident in her voice. It's not perfect, but it should prevent any further reactions. Maya let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. Thank you. We owe you our lives. Eli offered a reassuring smile. We're just glad we could help. But what now? Do you have a way out of here? Maya nodded, gesturing towards a set of pathways that led deeper into the labyrinth. Yes, but navigating them is still dangerous. We could use your expertise to find a safe exit. Celine considered the options. We can guide you out, but we'll need to move quickly before any lingering effects cause more instability. With a plan in place, the group began their ascent through the labyrinth, the stabilized device providing a semblance of order amidst the chaos. The journey was arduous, the environment still unpredictable, but their combined efforts and newfound alliance with Maya and her team proved invaluable. As they navigated the shifting passages, Eli couldn't help but reflect on the interconnectedness of their missions. The struggles they faced were not isolated incidents but part of a larger, intricate web that bound the underground ecosystems together. Each mission revealed new layers of complexity, highlighting the delicate balance between technology and nature. After what felt like an eternity, they finally emerged from the secluded chamber into a familiar section of the labyrinth. The bioluminescent flora guided their way, illuminating the path back to the nexus. We made it, Maya breathed, her eyes meeting Eli's with gratitude. I don't know how to thank you enough. Eli shrugged modestly. Just doing our job. But we're glad you're safe. As they approached the exit, the team felt a sense of accomplishment and relief. They had not only thwarted the Arachnid's plans but also aided those in genuine need, reinforcing the importance of their mission and the impact of their actions. Back at the Nexus, the successful rescue was met with celebration, but also a renewed sense of vigilance. The labyrinth held more secrets than they had initially realized, and the collaboration with Maya's team opened new avenues for research and development. Eli found himself spending more time with Celine, their bond strengthened by their shared experiences. Together, they worked on integrating Maya's research into the Nexus's projects, striving to create sustainable solutions that respected the natural balance of the underground ecosystems. Jenna, ever the innovator, continued to develop new gadgets and tools to aid in their missions, her creativity proving indispensable in overcoming the challenges they faced. Her relationship with Eli grew deeper, their mutual respect and friendship solidifying into an unbreakable partnership. As the days turned into weeks, the Nexus thrived under the combined efforts of its dedicated team. The once daunting Labyrinth became a symbol of resilience and adaptability, a testament to what could be achieved through unity and perseverance. One evening, as the team gathered in the common area to celebrate another successful mission, Eli stood up, his gaze meeting Celine's. "I couldn't have asked for a better team. We've been through a lot, but we've come out stronger on the other side." Celine smiled, her eyes reflecting the same sense of pride and determination. "We're just getting started. There's still so much more to explore and protect." Jenna raised her glass, a playful glint in her eye. "To the spider web abyss and all the adventures that lie ahead." The room echoed with laughter and cheers, the sense of camaraderie palpable. But beneath the surface, Eli couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was far from over. The labyrinth still held countless mysteries, and the potential for new threats loomed on the horizon. As he looked around at his team, Eli felt a profound sense of purpose. They had faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious, their bond unbroken. But he knew that the true challenge was just beginning, navigating the intricate web of the underground and uncovering the secrets that lay hidden within its depths. And so, as the celebration continued, Eli made a silent vow to protect his team, his sister, and the fragile balance of the underground realms they had sworn to safeguard. The spider web abyss was more than just a mission, it was a calling, one that would define their legacy and shape the future of their world.